All right. Well, I guess we can get started. Hi. All right. So anyway, I'm just gonna keep doing that shit till I fucking understand what the fuck I'm doing with this shit. Uh, yeah. Anyway, I'm Cap. Uh, I'm coming to you from the greater Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa area. Actually, uh, I was pretty much born and raised in this area, northeastern Iowa. So it's I know a lot of farming and all this other good stuff too. So we're Iowa. We create a lot of food for everybody, and that's why we start hearing all about all these tariffs and shit. It's fucking ridiculous what they're uh, what they're even spewing now. It keeps getting funny, but you know, here I am. I'm Generation X. We are the last great generation. There are a lot of millennials. I mean, even kids born up and through like 1985, 1986, in a lot of ways, they could still be considered in Generation X as long as they had the right parents. You know, they most of them some of them turned out pretty good. I drink a lot of milk. Milk does body good. I support our Iowa farmers. Um, I really love our beef. Um, anyway, yeah, we are the last generation of good people. I do believe. We are funny though. I mean, there is a big splits though. I mean that's going to be a given. There's going to be splits in generations, but I just find these memes just freaking great. I mean, yeah, I can't remember the first time I had a beer, but it was at a very young age, and my parents didn't drink very much, so. But anyway, we will get into this. This is you get this loser ass motherfucker, Jim Acosta, former CNN host. You know, he's doing his own thing now. Got completely owned all the time by Trump. Uh, Borderline psychotic episodes if he wasn't getting his way. He thought he was the only reporter in the whole damn uh the reporter pool, journal pool. Um so but we're going back to the Parkland massacre. A few victims there. Should not have happened. A lot of failures in a lot of different levels down there. From the fact that that kid shouldn't probably have even been in the school to the fact that you have officers, the resource officers that are not willing to go above and beyond. It's stupid because um, you know you signed up for the job. Now you signed up to be a protector of the kids, protector of the peace, protector of the public. And yeah, I know the Supreme Court has ruled on it that you do not, you can't be sued for not wanting to give up your life because it is your life. But police officers, especially, and firefighters, going into the job that it's a rough job. Um, at any given time, you could perish. I mean, it's no different when you sign on the dotted line and the recruiter's office and um, join the military. You could be front line at any given time. And we see how missiles and drone strikes are anymore that not a lot of people are safe now. A lot of our drone flyers and stuff will be pretty safe. They most of the time stay in an office or in mountains. But anyway, uh, we there it was a big problem down there in Parkland. I and you know the security guard that just stood down didn't do anything. The whole freaking sheriff's department that didn't really do anything down in Broward County. Um, I feel these fucks should never wear a badge ever again. I mean, I'm not a cop. I've never wanted to really be a cop. Uh, but knowing being a cop, you would have to realize that you are going to you could lose your job. It could be a routine traffic stop and now you got somebody opening fire on you. So that is what it is. But especially if you're there to resource officer, you're there to protect the kids and you run off or you don't go in and go chase down what the fuck is going on in there, you're a goddamn coward. Now, that's one job I would probably take up. I feel that there's a lot better qualified people out there, former military especially, that could be employed to guard these schools. I mean, Lord knows we do protect banks, we protect uh, a lot of different things. CEOs have bodyguards. You have security cameras. You have uh, there's a lot of different checks and balances in place, but yet we don't have anything for our kids. Um, and there's a lot of variables that go into place with all these school shootings that we have had since mainly since Columbine. Um, I know me growing up, even graduating when I did, it still wasn't uncommon to see a few trucks in the parking lot that had rifles or shotguns. Um, I mean, that was our way. I mean, we still had archery and stuff like that in PE. Um, we didn't have shooting. I missed out on the shooting part. There was a point in time I think my school did offer shooting, but I did grow up in a podunk little town in Iowa, so it's um, pretty much everybody knew how to shoot. I knew how to shoot from a very young age, and so we didn't have that. But I mean, we weren't being experimented on by a lot of these different medications that these kids are being put on. These SSRIs are a joke. Unfortunately, I am actually on one myself. And it's really funny because you go to see a doctor every year when you're on them. At least every, I'm lucky to go to the doctor once a year. So, but I'm asked every time, for the refill. It's like, hey, are you homicidal? No. Well, no. Are you suicidal? No, no. I just 6 by 9 cell just still doesn't feel appeasing to me, and I kind of enjoy being alive. I mean, whole other subjects, but yeah, seeing what's going on the other side, what's beyond this, all the speculation going back and forth with the different religions as far as what comes after death, and it's I'd rather not know right now. I'd rather stay alive. I'm not suicidal, you know. But I've actually have had friends that they were on some and they got switched up and what have it, and they're no longer here with us. They were suicidal, and sometimes these suicidal rages become homicidal rages. We're just rather take out people, and that is one of the common denominators on all of these school shootings is the SSRIs. So hopefully Kennedy, I know, has talked about that in the past, of kind of doing a crackdown on that. Um, but there needs to be more crackdown. It's why are we having to put our kids on this stuff? Why do I suffer from anxiety? You know why? What has changed in our lives compared to even 100 years ago, where you couldn't find even 1 out of 100 that had a real bad mental illness. Now, 150 years ago, just a woman being not PMSing was enough to get them put in locked away in an institution. So, yeah, I get the slippery slope with who's going to be, what are you going to call them for, what kind of mental disorder do you need? What are you helping? But, then again, we bastardized psychology so bad that it doesn't really even fucking matter at this point in time. Um, we got to have a start. But anyway, this freaking joke, Jim Acosta. Sorry, I graduated with somebody that was had the same last name somewhere. Anyway, and they did this AI. This is a kid that died in the Parkland shooting, and the parents used AI to render him and have him talk, which is really creepy in a lot of ways. You are using your dead kid to promote uh, gun control that has been proven to not work. Um, Another common factor with most all mass shootings is they're in gun-free zones. So obviously none of these criminals can read because they should know that, you know, going to a school with a gun is illegal. So, but anyway, um, it's just creepy. I mean, this is just a little segment of it, and I guess there are people complaining about during the live the thing, but here's like 24 seconds of it. Well, uh, go back here. Even looking at Jim's eyes with his glasses on and everything, you can kind of see life. Now this is an AI. It's taken a photo of him and made it AI. I mean, we've seen the ads on the different things we have of make your pictures come to life. Well, that's pretty much what they did here. And you just look at his eyes. They just look they're dead. You could see life in that. And you notice that the facial expressions aren't there. It's the mouth moves, the eyes blink, which kind of creepy as is, but the facial expressions are. You just look. AI can't. This is just a terrible version of AI, and they can get better. I'm sure they can get better, but there's no facial features or anything on this, and his whole message is based off of what his parents have programmed into the AI algorithm, more or less. It's how his jaw moves. His chin moves, but not his jaw. But we'll go back to his message. So Jim just interviewed an AI on his podcast thing, whatever the fuck it's called. I have no idea what the hell it is. It's really creepy. Like I said, this guy just looks. I mean, he is dead. It's just a photo, but you can tell just by that. Like I said, maybe it's just a crappier AI, but the message of this is just safe spaces for conversations and connections. Well, eh, what's a safe space? Because I've been, you know, ridiculed and everything and everywhere I've been aspects of life. So, um, but stronger control laws. Now, the Second Amendment is the only amendment that actually is very, very commanding. You know, uh, We'll read it out loud here. So, I hear a well regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Those four words are the most important words. This is not in the First Amendment. This is in the third, the fourth, the fifth, any of the amendments. It says shall not be infringed. That means you shall not take away from the people to keep, that we should be able to keep and bear arms. But yet it is the most regulated amendment to date. I mean, there is more rules and regulations to owning a firearm, to have the right to keep and bear arms, to keep a firearm, to keep your rifle. You've got to jump through a lot of red tape. Now, I understand some of the felony things, that they shouldn't be able to own weapons and blah, 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 blah. But I think there's a lot, there still needs to be a lot more prison reform, though, too, because there are a lot of people that I feel have served their debt to society. They did their prison time, whatnot. They've done parole. They're off of that, and yet we're going to keep their rights. Maybe we'll give them the right to vote, but we're still not going to allow them to protect themselves. But it was a slippery slope, so we just axed it off. Again, most of our laws, especially with having to do with the Second Amendment, come out of fear, and that's one thing that the Democrats, and they've always promoted fear. And it's not, well, I shouldn't say that. It's not just Democrats. Politicians like to instoke fear because fear will get you things. We started off with this great experiment of being the most free people in the history of humans. Whether you want to go with the whole 5,000-6,000 years, or you'll go with what I believe, which is millions of years. But our recorded history that we know of, for the most part, nobody's been this free. Everything's been monarchies and stuff like that, which we didn't have much progress when, I mean, nobody had governments. We had kings and queens, and it wasn't until we started forming governors and stuff like that, and that was mainly the United States trying to do that. It's our experiment through different readings and scholars in the world in the past and stuff like that. We created this great free society, but it stayed pretty free for the most part. I think the big turning point is when we started the Federal Reserve in 1913. We've seen a big pivotal change of black money being used. All these programs, like you said, USAID has been doing all these little NGOs that are spending money and stuff like that. They help spread fear, and you take like the coronavirus incident of 5-6 years ago now, and they used it to try to control people. I mean, but you don't have to go back far in history. I mean, 100 years before that, during the Spanish flu, the same thing happened. We had a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of politicians, stuff like that, telling people at that point, yeah, wear a mask, put a cloth mask on. This was actually in San Francisco. They caught him. The newspaper accidentally took a photo at a boxing ring during the middle of mandating wearing a mask during the Spanish flu, and a picture appears in the newspaper where at this boxing match of all the mayor and the governor and all the socialites and business people and stuff like that, and not one single person there was wearing a mask. And after that, everybody read the news at that point in time. You had kids sitting on the street corner, throw your 2 bits down, grab your paper, and this was on the front page, and everybody just ripped their mask off and said, screw that. We're not gonna deal with this porn, but fear porn. But that 100 years ago, we've we've been able to brainwash. We didn't have TV at that point in time. We didn't have radio really, so it was harder to. And it was a lot harder to infiltrate newspapers. There's a million and one different newspapers at that point in time. So it was really hard to. Secrets were secrets, but everybody, once it made the newspaper, everybody read it. And so now you have the internet where you have these random jokes all the time. I mean, I've been seeing it since the internet pretty much started, especially like Facebook and stuff like that. So this famous person died. Oh, it's tragic. And then you check and they did. And it's, but if you can do the Cloward and Piven strategies and just you repeat the lie enough, it becomes the truth. And that's what we've done. We keep instilling these fears, and then we just sign off these rights away. We've lost so much rights in the last 120 years. It's not even funny. I mean, anybody see the video of Terry Bradshaw? He got held up by TSA. He got searched. His stuff got searched. He got searched twice, patted down, and then he got escorted off to a private room to be searched again. It's like these TSA agents, really. I mean, he's standing there without his shoes and everything. That's what was funny, and but it's like, come on, give me a break. Give me a fucking break. It's Terry fucking Bradshaw. If you don't know who the fuck he is, look at his entourage behind him. I mean, it's disgusting. And I don't fly anymore. I have flown, and the whole TSA thing was a joke. So, but anyway, back to that. We've sold enough fear. We stage things, and we sign our life away by saying that famous Ben Franklin quote. God dang, I would just walked right into this. I did not get prepared for this, but there was see if this is right. Yeah, right here. Booyah. This one right here. This one plays a lot into this. He who would trade liberty for some temporary security deserves neither liberty nor security. So, because of what happened on 9/11, we allowed our Congress and the president to sign the Patriot Act, which on the outside said, yeah, we're going to start looking for these terrorists. We're going to be able to listen in on cell phones are starting to be a thing. We're going to listen in on their calls and stuff like that, even landlines. Don't worry. Don't fucking worry. It's not going to affect you one little bit. Will not affect you. And then you had Obama runs in 2007, 2008 election, and there's already been some kind of questionable things happening with the Patriot Bill, especially having to do with surveillance on Americans. And he ran on the thing, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm just going to done. Great. If you do that, I might actually support you. I don't But that'd be one good thing. I saw through a lot of his lies way beforehand. Anyway, um, hopefully he gets in trouble. Fucking love to see that motherfucker get in trouble. But no, he goes on and he more or less signs on to Patriot Act 2.0, which it didn't cut any of the surveillance at all. It actually boosted it. We we expanded to everything, and especially with the Facebook coming out, the Twitters, the social media stuff starting to hit. You know, we got to be able to look and see what they're doing. And not that they'd say it to you, they just force the companies to do it for them. But a lot of us people are going, no, no, no. We know they're the listening. Um, I know what old wiretaps used to sound like on old cell phones and telephones, but um, nobody would believe us. Not one single person. I mean, few people. There's fews of us, but and then Edward Snowden comes out, says, "Hey, these guys are lying to you. NSA's got server after server collecting all of your text messaging, all of your calls, everything. There's a reason why your cell phone went from having a removable battery to not being able to remove your battery. It's so you can't ever technically shut it off. I mean, it is still a lithium battery. They still will remit a little bit of power even when they're dead. Plus, they also let them shut down early so they'll stay on anyway. I mean, a lot of this stuff came out, especially 2018, 17, 18, 19. Um, I forgot what his name was. I think it was Robert Epstein. Dr. Robert Epstein. Yeah. Yeah, they killed his wife, but he was talking about how Google was using information and stuff like that. But uh, we still haven't gotten rid of this Patriot Act. We still know that they're spying on us. Edward Snowden's sitting in Russia because he can't return to his home country because we want to put him in jail for being a whistleblower. Again, with the whistleblower protection, I think there should be bountiful protection. Having to leave your own country for fear of being jailed for exposing what the government blatantly violating our Fourth Amendment rights. It's really creepy, and I hope maybe in a couple of years Trump will pardon him. I know Tulsi Gabbard got freaking hammered on him during the Senate confirmation hearings, which is another totally other subject. There is supposed to be no confirmation hearing for cabinet level members, but it's an advisory. Uh, but they tried grilling her over and over about pardoning him and whatnot. I get what she says. I feel like he should be pardoned. I really do, in my opinion. But um, somehow, oh yeah, this whole Colin, the whole fucking goddamn creepy ass AI. But you know, it says here, AI Oliver was created by Oliver's parents so their AI son could deliver a powerful message on gun violence. You know, I haven't lost a kid. I only have one kid, but I haven't lost a child. I've lost my parents. I don't have family really. So, um, and I've thought about it before, especially talking to my mom who's been gone for a long time. But I don't think I'd want to hear it. unless I was standing there and could actually physically touch her to know that it was her, I don't want an AI. I don't want no goddamn supercomputer taking my mom's voice and playing it back to me the way they think it would sound. Because there's no way you're going to perfect everything he says. It's still a computer generated voice and stuff. So you're not going to have a lot of feeling in it. Um, so, and especially my dad just passed away a couple of years ago. Again, I would love to talk to him. I'd love to talk to all my dead relatives and friends again, but not through an AI. No, no. It's not the same. It's not them. I, it, and they want this to try to become a normality because I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Surrogates. It's a great movie with Bruce Willis in it. Fucking awesome movie. But anyway, you more or less you plug into a VR. You plug into a robot avatar that goes about and does your daily business while you sit at home and you control it with your thoughts and when you're thinking of raising your right arm, well the surrogate, your robot thing, his right arm. So it's really interesting, but it became too reliant, and you lose the physical touch, and that's we saw a lot of that with COVID. You took away, yeah, depression went up like a motherfucker during COVID because you weren't allowing people to hardly touch each other. You were telling people to freaking wear masks when having sex. You know, to stop the spread. Stop the spread. I must be. I'm like weird, really weird because I never got COVID fully. I don't know. I'm just I seen it, but I know that the hospitals killed people. I know DHS killed people. Um, I'm still pissed off at the fact that I couldn't do business in half the places that I wanted to go do business and got me. I had to get an Amazon account because I couldn't go into stores that I wanted to get things. Even Walmart, where you gotta wear a mask. You know what? Fuck off. I'm not wearing no goddamn mask. My dad he was in bad health and had to be in the hospitals and stuff like that. And I went with him a bunch of times. They're going to make you wear a mask. I said, no, they're not. They're going to make you wear a mask. No, they're not. Why? Well, one argument. You could take a handful of marbles and you throw it at a chain link fence and it stops the marbles. Some of the marbles, even. I'll just give you some. Not even all. Just some of the marbles. Wear a mask. I've worn enough masks in my life having to do with hazmat type situations that the little thing over your face that you're not wearing right anyway ain't doing shit for you except for you're breathing back in the water molecules and how long that thing's been on you, how much fungus is growing that's growing back into your lungs, and now we have pneumonia problems. God damn fucking flies. But again, more freedoms that we've tried to give away. Um, I love seeing these goddamn lefties here. We've got I don't even know what we've got justice. We've got a strawberry go Ukraine. We got rainbows. We got Israel and Palestine. So I'm on both sides of that war. But, this guy put out, Trump deserved the Nobel Peace Prize. For what? Golfing? Well, fuck off. You know, you guys all stood up for Biden when he's on vacation. Every fucking weekend he was on vacation. Sometimes he was down in the Virgin Islands on vacation, and people got clemency and their uh, commutations from prisons, and executive orders got wrote. And well, hopefully we get to the bottom of this goddamn autopan bullshit, because some people belong back in jail. There's been a couple people that actually have committed crimes and are now back in jail. But yeah, anyway, I have no sponsor. Yeah, I don't know what I was just gonna say. Anyway, we'll go back to the freaking goddamn fucking idiots. More idiots, idiots, idiots. This whole DACA shit. Now this kid, he he's a DACA recipient, so he was here illegally. His mom and dad brought him in illegally, or his anchor baby, whatever. I no, actually just brought in illegally, but we supposedly gave him a chance to do better, to get to school, whatever. It was an Obama executive order that never made it to a House bill or Senate bill. It's not a law. Has gone to the Supreme Court on defunding and whatnot, and Supreme Court says no, you can't do that. But it's not a law. It's not. It's just an executive order. It should be able to write another executive order to get rid of that executive order, but the Supreme Court won't let you. No, in other words, another case where a court has failed because they were once again judging with feelings and not law. That's my biggest problem with judges, is judging with how they feel the law works. Not how the law works, but how they feel. There's tons of instructions on how these laws work. But again, he's going to self-deport, which but he does speak pretty good English. I mean that's great. But it said 96, January 15th, 1996. Almost 30 years ago. You're right. And you haven't once filled out something to be a naturalized citizen? I'm not sorry. Great. Great. Bye. Again, you're working on your master's degree, your teacher. You thought once to maybe get your citizenship? No, no, fuck you. Then go home. I don't give a shit. Get the fuck out of here. Go home. That's great. I hope your plan, actually, I hope your plan falls to pieces and you're out of here way before your plan of June of 26. I really do. I hope he's gone. And this is another one of these people that they're going to claim he's probably voted too. He's not a citizen. And he has probably voted. Another problem. Still not a citizen, but he gets representation in DC and at the state level and at the local level. He gets representation. His voice matters because our census will count him as a person to get representation when he doesn't deserve representation because he's not a citizen. You can't, you're supposed, the House, our elected officials are supposed to represent the citizens of the United States. Nobody else. You know? I mean, just go home. Just go the fuck home. There was another, oh, where was it? Some dumb bitch. Um, I had it pulled up earlier and I lost it. Where is it at? Yeah, of course I can't find it now. Why would I be able to find it now? um. Anyway, she. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Ha. There it is. Fox had it. Uh, that's House Democrat. Um, she's overseas and she's from Illinois. Imagine that. My sister state. Uh, Pan American. Well, she's down in Mexico City over the weekend. And she says she's a proud Guatemalan before I'm an American. So, again, I'm going to ask is she a legal citizen? Is she a citizen? We should not have non citizens being able to run for Congress and win. That's for sure. And if you're a naturalized citizen, you know, I don't know, not enough to make you lose your citizenship. I mean, your family came from Ireland and Germany. I proclaim that I'm Irish first, American second. No, I was born here. I mean, if she's born in Guatemala, that's great. But if you're a citizen of this country and serving the people of this country, you should be saying American first. But then again, we allow dual citizenship and all that kind of crap, and it shouldn't be allowed. I said there needs to be a little bit more qualifications added to the Constitution for especially congressional people. Um, excuse me. I really think competency tests. Competency tests. Hey, what's 1 plus 1? Well, it's 3. Well, you know what? That disqualifies you from being a representative because one, then that 2, not 3. But you know, if if you're sitting there in front of Congress and they ask you, "What's a woman?" I don't know. I'm not a biologist. Well, you took biology at one point in time in school. I mean, I didn't have to take biology to know what a man and woman was. I grew up around farms and stuff like that. We knew the birds and the bees from very young age. Plus, I also rode a school bus, so I learned a lot on the school bus. So, but again, the yeah, like okay. So here's a quote from Teddy Roosevelt. There's no room in this country for hyphenated Americanism. Americanism is a matter of the spirit and the soul. Our allegiance must be purely to the United States. We must unsparingly condemn any man who holds any other allegiance. Exactly. You know, and it's funny that we only attribute this to um, well, mainly two continents. Um, three, three, but third one. I mean, you group them into Latinos. Um, they're Latin Americans. You got all of Africa, so everybody from Africa that comes here, they're African American, including Elon Musk and Josh Blue. Great. Josh Blue was one hell of an African American. I love that guy. He's great. Uh, you know, and you got Asia, Asian Americans. You don't see. I haven't met an Irish person that said they're Irish American. I'm just American. I'm English American. I'm Spanish American, kind of. I've heard that one a couple of times, but you know, I'm Russian American. So you group them all together. You know, they're not just Chinese; they're Asian. They're Asian American. They're not Korean. They're Asian American. Um, they're not from. They're not Egyptian Americans. They're African Americans. Well, that's one part pretty much where they kind of might differentiate on that. Egypt is way different than the rest of the part of Africa, which is just wild. Um, anyway, and Al Green's back on his promise to impeach Trump again. I mean, he the guy introduced impeachment articles on day one. Fuck off, motherfucker. This is it's stupid. Um, the Epstein files just keeps getting deeper and deeper. I mean, I 100% believe. I mean, okay, 100% believe that Donald Trump's name is in the files. I don't think that's why there's been some skittishness on trying to release everything. Um, there's a couple of things too. I mean, we knew they hung out together. Okay, no big deal. Uh, Trump did kick him out of Mar-a-Lago, banned him from Mar-a-Lago after he found out certain things about this chomo that that needed to have seen a wood chipper. But you know, there's been so much time since this went down that he was arrested, put in jail, killed himself, allegedly, in Minecraft. Um, shout out to Salty. Uh, but it there's a lot that could have been done. I mean, Trump did not even have control of his own Justice Department at the time. You had Bill Barr that goes back with Epstein. They're old pals. Nobody fails to freaking mention that while he was in jail and died by suicide, it was under Bill Barr's watch. And, you know, Bill Barr's dad got Jeffrey his job at Harvard. So there's ties there. Why don't we ask questions about that? Um, which is coming. I mean, he is on here for questioning August 18th. And I could see how all this is going to go. Hillary, Bill, Garland, Comey, they're all going to get up there and go, I believe the fifth. What do you know about Jeffrey Epstein and his ties to, I believe the fifth? Bill Clinton, how many It says here we have you on this flight log 26 different times flying down to Little St. George's Island there in the Virgin Islands. Um, what'd you do down there? I believe the fifth. Yeah, that's the way it's going to go. And I think a lot of the evidence that we've had since then, like I said, Bill Barr, Epstein was arrested and killed himself under Bill Barr's watch. Bill Barr goes back with Epstein. Did he really kill himself? Did he get him out of there? What happened? What happened to all the files? We raided FBI raided the island. And it was in the news at the time. I remember hearing about lots of videotape, a lot of surveillance video from that island. And then we get to Ghislaine's trial, and one of the FBI agents flat out said, "We're missing hard drives." Where did they go? Again, are they in this storage closets that seems to litter all of the J. Edgar Hoover building? Is nothing but closets that have classified information that's supposed to be destroyed and doesn't get destroyed. But this is a case where it probably did get destroyed because there was a lot of high profile people that were going down there. I mean, we're just speculating on a lot of them, but even like Chief Justice Roberts might have been down there. Initials are on there. It's the manifests on private jets are a lot different than commercial jets, so that does play hell and try to figure out who's who and who's what. But I just really don't think we're going to get anything out of it. I think a lot of the information has been destroyed, and rightfully, this could damage a lot of upper echelon people, and could expose who was actually handling Epstein. I mean, I just seen a report. Supposedly, he was connected with he was an FBI informant too in the 1980s. I mean, one point in time he said he was CIA. I mean, we know Ghislaine Maxwell was at some point was tied to Mossad, Israeli intelligence. Her dad was. We know Ghislaine can pilot submarines of all goddamn things to do. She can fly she can maneuver submarines. And her dad even died in mysterious circumstances. Just disappeared off a yacht in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, makes sense. So, and we know the intelligence apparatuses across the world are always trying to find ways to blackmail people. What's really bad though is when you're trying to get information on your own citizens to use against them. But and some of these people willingly walk into the blackmail because they want that power, they want the richness, they want the wealth. They want to go in knowing that, oh, I'm only going to make $180,000 a year, but you know what? In at least 2 years, I'm pretty sure I get reelected. So give me 4 years, I'll have at least 20 million. Not by getting paid by taxes, but there's just different ways, especially through USAID. Hopefully we're gonna see a lot less of this stuff. I mean, already campaign spending is way down because of the fact that NGOs don't have money. But I really don't know. There's it. I don't think we're going to see anything special on Epstein. After all it's said and done, we're not going to see shit. Because they don't want it to be known. So the powers that be have already, I believe, I'm at least 99% sure that the information has been destroyed. So I don't think Trump's lying about that. I think Pam Bondi thought that there was something there, but I don't think there was a there, and they're just kind of they're making themselves look bad by trying to scramble to release stuff that is not there. I don't know. You get it. You get it. I don't know. But I don't think much is going to come of this. And some of this stuff has nothing to do with the Epstein thing. The Jeff Sessions, that has nothing to do with Epstein. I don't think. I think that has more to do with the uh, Obama Gate. Now, uh, all the stuff that's been discovered over the last couple of weeks, which now is being labeled as, well, that's probably that is right. That's the Russian disinformation that they were talking about. Is this stuff? No, it's their meetings. The big thing about Jeff Sessions is, why did he recuse himself from the investigation right off the bat? So they could install Mueller to do this investigation, this special counsel that he wrote the report on and had no idea what was in the report because, well, of course he didn't write it. But why did Jeff recuse himself? I mean, that's a big one. You're not going to get anything out of Robert Mueller. He proved his point 4 or 5 years ago when the Mueller report came out, and you were asking him about the report. He had no idea what the fuck was in the goddamn report because he didn't fucking do anything. He was just a patsy that got the title. Everybody else was doing the work, including the that Weasel Weinstein. I forgot his fucking name. Anyway, he's a snake. But, you know, she's fighting back because they want to release some of the grand jury testimony that got her put in jail to start off with. Uh, they haven't seen the material, cannot take informed position on it. Well, how have you not seen the material? This is the material that puts you in jail, in prison. This is all that information. Why can't we hear why? And Jeff's dead, so why can't we hear what's going on with that? Nah, they won't let us. They won't let us. They won't let us at all. So, but anyway, I think I will call this a night. I got some more things to do for the night ends. Ripping and tearing, doing construction on the house. So, anyway, I will try to be back on. Let's see here. Today is Tuesday. Let's try Thursday at 6:45. Alrighty, people. We will talk to you then. And off.